Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Hello, how are you? I wish you well-being and a happy and prosperous year 2017. I thank you for watching this video. My name is Cesar Rizzo. I am going to reveal you a unique and unbelievable personal experience, but I warn you, this event can happen only in one country, in Colombia. This experience of survival, I believe, cannot survive an ordinary common human being. Therefore, permit me to emphasize this. Truly, I am surviving miraculously just thanks to God. Without doubt, a divine hierarchy was and is protecting and helping me during this long nightmare. I believe there is a purpose and a reason for this tribulation that I am experiencing. There is an ugly, infernal world in this beautiful country where I am still living as a prisoner-like, surviving in a dark world. Therefore, I beg you to forgive me for my limitations during this time. So please be patient with me during the next 20 minutes, approximately. I assure you, you will be glad you did it. I am a medical doctor, specializing in alternative medicine. By the way, let me tell you something else. Truly, I am blessed with some knowledge related to the eternal truth of life. What's that, you may ask? It means the knowledge of basic and fundamentals of life that most of the humanity ignore. Such a knowledge reveals the basic mysteries of life, and if disclosed, this may serve as a guide and help many human beings in this country, in USA, and around the world. Permit me first to disclose to you some facts of such blessings I have received over the years during my lifetime. I developed the great discovery of the century with the purpose to establish peace, the real peace, in this violent city and country, Colombia. I discovered the secrets of fountain of youth. I am the founder and the director, to be, of the social project called the Reconstruction of Colombia Mission, with the intentions to expand all over America and the world. I am also the inventor of 3 hygienic intimate appliances for men, women, and children, designed to replace 50% or more the toilet paper. I wrote and I used to have various books, manuscripts that were in preparation to be published, 3 of them especially. Here is some fascinating names. You are truly a marvelous human being. Secrets of eternal youth and longevity. The secret code of happiness. The magic of sex. Your superpower you do not know yet. The described still is unknown, most of it, to humanity. So there is a mission to be fulfilled, beginning in Colombia and in USA. Why I did not fulfill my mission? During my lifetime, I used to live always a normal and sane life. Therefore, I was blessed receiving high knowledge during my lifetime. Although by August 2004, I found myself falling down with many personal limitations, unable to fulfill my mission and personal plan. What happened to me and my normal life? During the past over 10 years, I was forced to survive in a dark underworld, right here in Colombia, that most people are unconscious of it. Suddenly, I became part of many thousands of human beings trapped in such sinister underworld in Medellin, Colombia, surviving out on the streets without anyone or any organization to help, surviving without a shelter of protection, without proper daily food, without water to drink nor to keep clean daily, without clothes to wear, without a bed to sleep comfortably, without bed sheets or cover bed, pillows, etc. Without all things that you have available in your home, living a normal life. I was surviving every single day and night with nothing to keep my body warm and comfortably. Every day I share their suffering. They do not live, they just survive, following the path to the premature death, surrounded by sickness, misery, cruel, painful, and eternal suffering. As a matter of fact, such a dark underworld is a living hell of daily torture towards a quick, premature death. Moreover, always exists the risk of an assault at night by one or more sick men while sleeping under a bridge, a sidewalk, or a unhealthy place without a secure shelter. In my case, I was every day and night in risk because I was very noticeable, attractive as a bait for the delinquent people, because I always dressed clean clothes every day and carried back and forth a heavy portfolio full of manuscripts and papers, and including my eternal companion, my bicycle, for my daily transportation. Every day and night exists the risk to lose our lives due to the fact that exist many criminals, addicts to drugs, and other perturbed people surrounding us. They can injure or even kill for a pair of shoes, pants, or a shirt if the victim reacts and defends himself. On the other hand, many people of this society, over 50%, have been transformed unconsciously their behavior as irresponsible and inhuman. For instance, last November 23rd, last year, a car ran over me while I was riding a bicycle. My life was threatened, in danger to lose that day for an irresponsible driver. He violated a traffic rule, a stop sign, running fast. He passed swiftly such sign and ran over my bicycle. Miraculously, the auto stopped 15 inches distance to my body. The front wheel passed over my foot, my right leg. The man avoided the medical expenses and damages caused by non-payment until this time. My body was lying down over the ground under the mudguard of the car. The trigger and the catering of my bike were cuffed and deformed together. The end of my right pants were under the front wheel. In this dramatic accident, I found and experienced two miracles. First miracle, my life was saved miraculously. The car stopped running fast that any human cannot be able to stop. I found myself lying down off the ground, just 15 inches left of the front wheel, while, without doubt, an angel stopped the car. Second miracle, my foot of my right leg was saved miraculously of a permanent injury. This miracle performed another angel. There are many other sad experiences too long to be described. I must emphasize this. My mind is not clear enough at this time, and so is my English, to be able to express properly that terrible, dark underworld that I wish do not ever exist, this abominable underworld. But I am sure of one thing: those people are badly sick, ignored, and still abandoned by the government and society. In one sentence, I am a miracle man, blessed by God, a survivor of a daily dark underworld, that God's will is to keep me alive. Why and how a doctor is trapped in this dark world? This dramatic story, truly it may serve us to make a movie. But anyway, let us analyze the origin of this sad tribulation that I have been involved against my will. First, this story begins when I used to live in New York and work in New York City by January 2002. I have a savings of $120,000. Two family members of my wife appealed to me, asking me to lend this money because they needed that money as a loan to buy a promising business opportunity they found. So I could not deny them that requirement. Second, just thereafter, by February 2002, I received a telegram urging me to travel to Bogota, Colombia, because my dear mother was severely sick. So they urged me to travel immediately. The life of my mother was in serious risk. She did not have any medical care nor health insurance, and there was no one to take care of her. So I had to travel from New York to Bogota, Colombia in a rush within the next 24 hours. The treatment was very difficult. It lasted 3 months, but the therapies I applied were successful. My mother was able to recover her health, thank God. Third, during the period of April-May of 2002, While I was conducting the treatment to my mother, I had the opportunity to meet many people around the city, and I recalled and learned their idiosyncrasy and found their behavior and culture were very different comparing to the USA culture. And at the same time, I learned their needs. I decided to disclose the Great Discovery Project and try to begin. So I placed an advertisement in the El Tiempo of Bogota. It is one of the major circulation newspapers in this nation. Thereafter I got a number of responses, including an important one, a politician from Medellin. He invited me to talk in that city. I accepted that invitation. After a few days in this city, I ended up getting in love with Medellin. Thereafter proposed me to give that out a conference. I accepted, and he arranged and organized it at the auditorium of the Consejo Consulate building. It's near the mayor's office. These facts motivated me, and I decided to establish temporarily my residence in this beautiful and warm city of Medellin. Fourth, my consciousness guided me to prolong my permanency in Colombia. Due to that decision, I lost my wife and my home. So I decided to sacrifice my well-being and my precious family. Due to that fact, my conscience guided me to do so. I felt a deep love and compassion to this population of 45 million souls at that time. In other words, millions of human beings I felt need me in this country. I was touched by these people, by their simplicity, kindness, intelligence, and their disorientation, unable to use properly their intelligence. Here is something revealing. I also found this population live with a terrible monster, have total influence over their lives of everyone. From early age, this monster have a name, dark subculture. This monster influences to all negatively. In other words, this dark subculture is the main cause of all kinds of evil and the existing social phenomenon of this country of Colombia. And it is expanding like a virus all over in other countries. Fifth, the worst thing of this tribulation was and still is, as I mentioned before, that I do not have anyone to appeal for help or have no family, not even friends. To the contrary, I have a responsibility to help my mother and so to my daughter. Also, I was forced to expand my limited daily income in research, writing, and developing the social project and other personal expenses during 2002-2004 years. At the other hand, during a long period of time, bit by bit, I got weak mentally and physically and lost my health due to the excessive efforts during over 2 years. So later, I found myself in a great need of financial help. I was so perturbed due to the overwork working alone that I forgot to take care of myself, and including that money that I had lent to relatives in New York. Sixth, until January 2004, still I was living in a comfortable apartment in Medellin, but facing severe financial difficulties, and I did not know what to do. Suddenly, I realized the solution was in my hands. I recalled that I have $120,000 that I lent to relatives in New York City. So I decided to recover immediately that money. When I appealed to them, they were unable to pay me back immediately, but they promised me to pay me by March 2004. The sad hour and sad day. Seventh, due to difficulties of bank restrictions for that transaction between New York and Medellin, John, one of the money borrowers, decided to come to Colombia to do some business, buy and sell merchandise, and at the same time deliver me personally that money. So we arranged to meet on Friday, middle of March 2004 by 11 a.m. and we met within the premises of the bank in Medellin. It was easily located at downtown of Medellin because the visitor did not know the city. So we met such a day that we arranged. We talked about the family, his business, and other matters. John delivered me the money in a common dark bag to avoid curiosity. Thereafter, I walked out in the bank, right out to another bank to do a financial transaction, while my thoughts were full of hope and merriment, making plans to solve so many financial and health problems, including the needs of my mother. After I walked 200 meters approximately, my mind was thinking also some humanitarian thoughts to benefit the weak. Suddenly I heard a motorcycle stop in the mother, and at the same time I heard fast steps back me. When I was going to turn back, suddenly I felt a strong arm surrounded my neck. It was so pressing, I felt that I was going to fall down, feeling without air. At the same time, I felt a knife over my stomach. Thereafter, 5 seconds appeared another man with a fire gun, placing on my head. Semi-conscious, I heard a strong voice. "Be quiet, man. If you move, we will kill you. Give me back that carolier." A small bag of leather with personal documents. I was paralyzed all over that moment for a few minutes. Sad and traumatized, I watched them running out on their motorcycle with my money, $120,000, and my personal documents, and they disappeared in seconds. Thereafter, I called the police with the help of 2 persons who were a witness of that criminal assault. The police came back 10 minutes and ran out the criminals. Thereafter 45 minutes, expecting anxiously at last, the police came back without positive results. So I lost my money. During the most worst critical personal conditions and financial status as I never imagined to be or had been ever before. It was unthinkable. 8. From that hour and day of Friday, March 2004, my life and my destiny changed dramatically as I never imagined. That great dream personal plan disappeared completely. Let's see. First dream, to help my mother to improve her health and buy her a house. Second dream, to recover my health mentally and physically and my weight. Third dream, to develop and build a basis of the human and social transformation project to initiate its operation. Fourth dream, to open a naturist clinic somewhere in Medellin. These sweet dreams that were in my hands just few hours before the tragic criminal event disappeared completely. Thereafter, that tragic day, I was able to survive under shelter during 30 days, mentally and emotionally destroyed. I was surrounded by depressed thoughts, without a friend or a relative or a female companion to just talk. So I found myself with my bank account closed, without 1 cent in my pocket. And at the same time, I was forced to go and be out to the streets because I was evicted out of my shelter. I lost everything that I had in my apartment. Again, I find no words to express the feelings I experienced them. I was forced to sleep every night right out of my shelter that I lost. This sad and cruel experience could make crazy to anyone. Sincerely, to my mind came thoughts of suicide and death. I asked myself, why this tragedy came to my life? Why it happened to me? My brain is still traumatized and weak to express clearly the sad and dramatic experience during this eternally unbelievable over 10 years. Just surviving miraculously during those infernal days and nights. As effects of this tribulation, I suffered a crude process of premature aging. I lost my health, lost my weight, So I am skinny as a 14 years old today. And at the same time, I got many ugly imperfections on my face, as you may notice. My mind had been traumatized during the past over 10 years. I lost a great deal of my health physically, mentally, and emotionally. I also lost some of my faculties in certain degree, such as my memory, creativity, concentration, and other. My brain is good. Therefore, my writing and speaking English are poor. However, there is a hope at last to get back on my feet, thanks to God, that guided me to find this humanitarian social platform and find you and perhaps your humanitarian help. Well, here is one of those unique opportunities to profit great blessings from heaven to your personal life and your family. Finally, we must know and remember or keep in mind the following. Our lives are ruled by laws, natural, spiritual, and also biological, such as the law of love, the law of compensation, the law of cause and effect, the law of retribution, among other laws. As you sow, so shall you reap in this life. Now that you know a summary of this terrible nightmare, I invite you to help me to get back on my feet and help me to live a normal life and be able to help my fellow men with God's guide. You may obtain a special reward given not only by me but also by the spiritual and natural law from heaven, as I mentioned it. Thank you for your kind patience. God bless you.